thinking I was either like one night performing on stage or like night two being a stripper.
We are off to a good fucking start, Jake. I was so
Damn!
nervous.
Oh, wow, I really missed that one.
I wanted to be the black sheep so fucking bad.
Yeah, what the fuck, St. Louis?
I am so shook that you have not shaken your ass to this song.
Yo! Okay, oh my God.
Shut up.
Lemacito.
Welcome to Unshut, a place where if at any point you feel like you need to shut the up, don't.
Oh my God, can you see me?
I cannot.
Oh my God, how about voila? Hello, Mo. How are you? You're
um,
a punctual person.
just a little bit, I try to be.
And did I say your name properly? Is it Mo?
Listen, you can call me whatever the fuck you want today, okay? This
Th-
is all about you.
That's very sweet, but how do you pronounce it?
It's Mo.
Okay, love. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you
And
so
like,
much.
welcome to my very messy debacle of a room. I don't know if you'd have any interest in seeing this. Just so
Yes.
if you ever need like a stamp piece for what my room really is, like if you think I'm lying, just ask about the Cameron Diaz poster.
Listen, on today's episode, all we're going to do is talk about what's in your background. So I like the
Okay.
shoes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing the worst ones, but I really appreciate that. That's sweet.
How's your morning been so far?
It's been so good. I have just been very fortunately busy with life and creatively getting a lot of things done as we ramp into the fall. And luckily, it's looking like a very exciting, busy, high impact fall. So I'm not going to lie to you. This week is kind of like a sprint to the finish line with some of the things that are going on. But this morning has been great because I had a couple cups of coffee. I feel like everything's okay as long as I have a cup of coffee. So
That's so funny. That's literally my first question on here was when we were talking a week or so ago, you were talking about how you love a good interview after a good cup of coffee. So I was going to ask you, how do you like your coffee?
okay, so I'm not picky about the ground of coffee, and I know a lot of people are. So, I mean, if I can just let you know about my white trash ways, like I'm very comfortable with the Folgers in my cup, and it's the best part of waking up. It's so real. But so I do like Folgers as the coffee. I try to be a somewhat healthy girl with I'll do a monk fruit sweetener or like a stevia with a half and half because I love a sweet coffee, but I'm not trying to just like go ape shit on all the sugar in the morning. But yeah, that's how I like my coffee. And I've got to be real. I think just having a classic drip coffee with half and half, just a little sweetener, I'm like, it's better than what I can get usually at a grocery or like, what am I trying to say? Like at a Starbucks or like a Dunkin'. So
Well, I mean,
yeah,
here's the thing. We're not going to judge you for your white trash ways. However, I will
you can if
judge
you
you.
want.
I will judge you if the Folgers you're talking about, is it when you do in a pot or is it the instant when you drop in and mix?
So I have both. I don't know if that just made it 8 times worse. I do specifically a Colombian roast for my drip coffee. I've got two roommates. So we make just a big pot every morning as like a communal pot. We're really loyal to like a Folgers Colombian right now. But the instant, it's like I do have an instant coffee by Folgers that's a backup and it's like their regular instant. And I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't know how to feel about that, but we're going to let it slide just because it's not your primary source of coffee. So I think we're off to a good start. We're good.
Okay, okay, okay. And just know, like, I'm all here for everybody's always in this position where they're like, don't judge people, like, don't. And I'm like, no, we like should judge people. Like, there's good and there's bad judgment. Like, judge me. You know what I mean? Like, that's what perception is in life. So you could be judging me in a good way. You could be like, oh my God, I love that he drinks Folgers. What a real bitch. Who's to say? But yeah.
How do you feel about being judged on throwback pictures of yourself?
Oh my God, if that's happening, I don't see it ever. But I also don't really mind. To be honest, I think like this whole wave of being on social media the past couple of years has really given me this freedom of kind of saying like, this is me, that was me. I love what I put out as far as like my media and my art. If you want to judge beyond that, that's your journey. And if you want to be self-critical or if you want to be critical of me, that's really on you. Like, I don't want you to really understand whatever you have to say about critiquing me beyond the media I put out is not going to be a critique I take constructively. Does it make sense? So like if it's an old photo of like me from college, I mean, I look busted in photos today and I look busted in photos back then. So like I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like that was me. I was breathing, I was alive. I've never distinguished myself as anything other than just a clown on the internet. So
I love that. Well, I think that's the part a lot of people miss is when you start putting yourself out there creatively, you really do start to build that security. Okay. That's called security, Jake, because you're like, you
yeah.
know what? At the end of the day, I'm like, even with me, I'm like, I could care less if someone finds me podcasting, which I don't even considering a podcast. It's more like a show. I consider this a show. And I'm like, if my friends or family members or even some of my followers now, they find it cringy, they don't like what I put out, I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm having the best time ever. So
Yeah, the conversation about what makes things cringe these days is a really interesting thing. I think there's a level of cringe people are having towards anything and everything, and especially people who are just like authentically being themselves. I think there's actually a value in cringy media too. You know, like we hate watch cringy stuff, and if somebody finds me cringe, that's fine. Yeah, I feel you, and I'm kind of in a space now where the only criticism I'll accept is if it's over what I'm rightfully putting out. For instance, like you may have seen my stuff of like scripted sketch comedy or like even my music. You know, I know we're here about my music. Somebody came to me with like a rightful speech of kind of saying like, I loved this, but blah, or like I wasn't crazy about this and this is why. I'd be like, I respect that so much. But if somebody came to me out of nowhere and was like, your ass really isn't that fat, or like your waist isn't as tiny as you think it is, or you don't dress as well as you think you do, I'm like, I could care less about that critique because I don't have a fashion line. I'm not a fitness influencer. I'm not no personal trainer. I don't know what to tell you. Like that's not the forefront of what I'm doing. And yeah, to like really maybe sound hypocritical, I care about a lot of things. Words from the internet, I don't care about much at all. But if a best friend came to me and said like, I wasn't crazy about that, I'm like,
well, I love that. And just for the record, that ass is fat. All right. So anyone that has anything negative to say on your ass not being whatever they think a good ass is up to standards, they can totally fuck off. They probably have a flat ass. So
hey, I'm here for like every ass counts. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I appreciate those words. That's really sweet. Yeah, I'm like a little speechless and blushing a little bit. That's very sweet. I have a relationship with my body now that I worked really hard to build on, and I'm proud of it. And I like to show it off here and there. But I'm gonna tell you something. Like, just because it's a big old ass doesn't mean it's the best ass. So I'll just leave it there. You know. But yeah.
I love it. Well, I do love hearing you say all this about criticism, and it's a big refresher for me because we are going to pull up some pictures of you from the past. However, it's
Okay.
not, and this is the beauty of what I like to think that I'm doing, right? Because when we are tapping into our creativity, we're delusional enough to believe we're doing the most special thing ever, right? And so I will tell you this, we are going to look at some photos. However, my spin on it is very sentimental and tapped into music. So it's not
Okay.
what most people would think it's going to be, but that's the beauty of what I like to do because just when I give you the most obvious thing, I give it a little bit of a twist and it's not what you expected. So,
I could not be more excited for what I'm about to see then.
oh, I cannot wait. It's going to be fun. And again, we're going to tap into our music creativity vibes. So, but before we do that, I want to ask you this totally random. Did you catch me on the email slipping up thinking you were in LA?
No, and the reason I probably didn't catch you on that is because the entire world thinks I'm in LA. And maybe I did read it and I'm like, there's just zero offense I could ever take to not knowing where I am geographically. The more people don't know where I am, I'm like, the better, even though they could figure it out in a heartbeat.
Great, because they're about to figure it out now.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you are in Atlanta, but are you
Mhm.
from born and raised in Atlanta, or is that just where you've been most of your life?
Both. So I was born and raised in a suburb north of Atlanta. And then I moved down here the second I turned 18 just for college. And so I've been here ever since in Atlanta. And I'm like a full-fledged Georgia peach, like in every sense of it, truly. And I haven't left this city because I adore this city. And what's beautiful is like with everything happening with the growth of my career and where I'm trying to go, at least, Atlanta's actually been a great place to be to capitalize on all that. It's just grown more and more as like an entertainment hub. So yeah.
I have been saying this almost my entire life. So I'm from LA and I don't shit on LA at all. I love it. It's where I'm from. However, I have always said Atlanta is so underrated when it comes to anything entertainment. I'm probably a lot older than you. I don't know your exact age, but I will say this, even with artists like TLC, like let's look at who their songwriters were. Hello, all from Atlanta. Like Atlanta is where entertainment is at and always has been. So
Yeah, there's such a incredible cross section of culture here, and that culture gets reflected a lot in media all across the world. Like you say, TLC, the start of Destiny's Child is Atlanta based, and we've got Babyface here, who is a legend in R&B. We also have so many legendary starts like Jermaine Dupri and Mike Will Made. Like there's so many different threads of minimum the music industry, but now Hollywood. And I love that you're an LA baby. I'm 30. You at least do not appear or look old at all. So please know that. Like, I like to tell people you appear age ambiguous, which I hope people take as a compliment. Like, I could see you literally in like your late 20s, 30, like wherever you are, you look great. But yeah, I really appreciate those words about Atlanta. I think Atlanta has one of those moments where we're not like a beautiful city as far as city design, it being really accessible to public transportation, kind of like the logistics to what makes a good city. But as far as culture, as far as beauty, as far as attitude, hospitality, it's like it carries a lot of weight that I would love to see more cities tackle. LA and New York are really big hustle cities, but Atlanta is also very much in line, in my opinion. Like we have a hustle down here that, like you said, I think is underrated. And I actually don't mind that it's underrated. But the people in the city work their ass off and I love it. And yeah. So I appreciate you knowing those things because I'm like, as a Atlanta boy, I'm flattered.
I love that. And thank you so much
Are
for the
you born and
compliment.
raised in LA?
I was actually born in Guatemala, but we moved to LA when I was 5, going on 6 or something like that. So pretty much I grew up there.
Yeah, yeah. And can I ask like specifics of LA? I'm not super literate, but as I'm going out there more and more, I'm like getting a good idea.
So I was in like the Pasadena area and Highland Park, which is funny. I just talked about this recently about how Highland Park is now very cutesy, very it's a cute area, but when I was there, it was so fucking hood. But you know what? It's good.
Baby. Oh my God. So, okay, where I'm from in Georgia is known as like Johns Creek. And now it's basically like the Beverly Hills of Georgia. It's so stupid and crazy. So I hate telling people that because while I grew up in a really great, like I would say middle class suburban environment, I just try to let people know, like, girl, I did not grow up in the Beverly Hills of what it is now. And they're like, right. No, right. And I'm like, I swear, like, I don't really know what to say, but I share that testament that you're speaking to.
It's so relatable. I mean, I also lived in Hollywood and Beverly Hills area, but what people don't notice is that there are some ghetto parts. Like Hollywood is fucking dirty and like it is so ghetto in certain parts of Hollywood, most parts of Hollywood. And I
Yeah.
agree with that because every time I tell people like, "Oh, this is where I'm from," they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous." And I'm like, "No, I was in like a one bedroom apartment with like 5 fucking people, okay? It was not the best situation."
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I'm proud of you for that. And whenever I go to LA, Atlanta's a really great mirror to LA. The way it looks and how neighborhoods are really spread out, and how a beautiful neighborhood could easily have rough areas like threaded through. So, yeah, I actually relate to what you're saying so much.
Yes, and just for the record, I don't mean ghetto and hood in like a very like negative way. It's just I mean it in the sense of like it was just so run down compared to what it is today. So no one fucking come at me, okay? I don't mean it in a bad way. But now that we're talking about like, our throwback lives, right? Would you say, Jake, that a lot of your classmates from growing up, they're surprised that you're doing what you're doing today? Or have they always kind of seen this creative side of Jake? Like, what were you like when you were younger? Reserved in this creativity sense, or were you always out there? Like, were you a theater kid? Were you an athlete? Are people shocked that you're doing this?
When I was in school, grade school, I was an athlete the majority of my time, loved it. But I will say, I would reckon the people that were close to me, so people who were on my team. I think that while they could be in a space of like, oh my God, I love seeing him do his thing. Like, it's so cool that he went and he's creating something out of this. I would probably say, I don't know if they're surprised. I think maybe they're kind of like, this is, I don't know. I've never really thought about this before, to be completely honest. But I would say people who are close to me, they're not surprised. And I feel like they're probably like, I love that for him. Keep it up, blah, blah, blah. The people that didn't know me in high school, I'm sure they're like, damn, I recognize that kid. I had no idea he was like this, or like blah, blah, blah. Because in an outward way, there was me balancing being in the closet. Like, I'm 30. So when I was in high school, while Glee was on TV, that was a little bit more of like the only thing that I ever felt had a gay storyline in such a mainstream, unless you went to HBO and Showtime. So I was still living in a world where YouTube was my only outlet for gay media. And many creators on YouTube were like, "Hey, wait to come out till after high school," and that's exactly what I did. So in that like space of me not being out yet, my full self-expression wasn't there. I have never been shy or reserved. That is something I will say, but I don't know if they saw this wild like comedic card, or nobody knew how well I could dance. That's something I don't think they expected that from somebody who never did theater or never performed on stages. And that dancing was like literally just me in my bedroom with an iPod Classic. um, just fucking it up, thinking I was either like one night performing on stage or like night two being a stripper. Like the Britney, like, I don't know if you were a part of like Britney Spears' Blackout album, but when that album came out, that was like a sexual renaissance for me. And like dance, like dancing in my bedroom by myself alone, like just all these things. But to go back to your original question, I'm sure my classmates and everybody is either like very surprised that I'm going and trying to go as far as I am with all this, and or just probably really jazzed for me. I feel like I've luckily gotten no bad blood with anybody from the past in that realm. So I'm sure they're like, I hope he fucks it up.
Well, I love hearing you talk about this, and I'm glad that you also said it's something you haven't really talked about before, because I do take pride in bringing in conversations from my guests that they've never talked about on record before. And I will also say this is one of the biggest rewarding parts about what I'm doing is I want people to appreciate the artistry, but sometimes when you get to know the artist a little bit behind the artistry, you're able to get a little bit more of a committed audience. And I love hearing you talk about this, because here I also had it on here to talk about what was your formal training. And I am fucking mind blown that you were never in theater or did dance
Mm,
classes or anything like that. Because when I see you, I see someone who has the it factor. You have, in my opinion, what it takes. Like, do you want to be a professional dancer? Boom, he can go and do that. Do you want to be on stage with Ariana Grande? He can do that. And now we're also getting, he can act, he can fucking sing, he can write, he can produce. It's like, okay, hold on. We don't get this level of, well created artists all the time. So I'm like fucking mind blown that you've never had any quote unquote formal training. So fucking kudos to you, dude. That's incredible.
thank you. Thank you. That is quite like, I'm a bit speechless by how much you just said. That's very kind. I really appreciate that. Maybe silly as it is to say this, it's just I was a dreamer my whole life and played with all of these worlds creatively inside for so long. And the ability to be applauded as I go on and express it outwardly each and every time has been a beautiful experience. And I'll tell you, the one that was the most surreal was like finally coming out with music. Like, I feel so late to the game, and I feel like a late bloomer in that aspect. I feel like a late bloomer to everything, but it's actually a really privileged place to be, because I think as I stepped into all of this, I stepped into all of it with a better full formed idea of where I wanted to be. So I really appreciate those words. Thank you.
Of course, and that's the most relatable thing too, because I feel the same way. I'm 35. I just started this under a year ago, and it has taken off in ways I was not expecting for this show to take off and draw the attention of the artist that it's getting. And I always say this, I am so grateful that I was a late bloomer in this sense, because I don't know that I would have been able to execute it the way I'm executing it now. So
Mhm.
hearing you say that about your music, I'm like, I love it. And you're absolutely right. This is the reason why I reached out to you because I also want to make sure that you get the proper flowers for doing more than just acting. And so before we jump into your music, I want to do something a little bit fun with you because I read somewhere that you are very well knowledgeable when it comes to underrated pop artists or underrated artists. So, which I have a couple of other things to bring up to you in that sense. However,
Okay.
I created a list of some artists that I consider underrated, and I am just curious to know if one, you know who they are, and two, if you know even any song, and you don't have to like sing it or know every song. I am just truly curious if you know any of their music. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. Let's go.
Okay, the first one I'm going to ask you is, do you know who Fifi Dobson is?
I do. She had a song called Ghost that I loved. Just like a go.
Yes.
Watch me. And then she had a song that was in a sync deal with a ton of commercials too. That was like a little more rock oriented. A lot of her stuff was really rock oriented, but yeah, I definitely know who she is. She had another song called Stutter.
Yes.
Okay.
We are off to a good fucking start, Jake. I was so
Damn.
nervous. Alrighty, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, I'm like actually impressed that I knew that. Okay.
No, me too, because I was really hoping you were going to be like, no, never heard of her.
False. I did. I have like a few of her songs on my phone as we speak.
Hell yeah, I love that. And I wasn't hoping that you were going to fail at this. I was just hoping that I would catch you so off guard to where you were going to be like, oh my gosh, this is an artist I don't know. Let me look it up. So, not to say I was hoping
I'm
you'd fail.
actually impressed with the grab. So I'm impressed with you.
Do you know who the Veronicas are?
Of course. Yeah. What? I yes. Yeah. Still
Yes.
untouched. Yeah, they have like a lot of stuff that needed more light. Like Take Me on the Floor, like that felt like a number one single to me. And it
Fuck
was just
yes.
hot and sexy. Like that was another song where I was like, whoa, this makes me like, why are my clothes coming off?
I am so impressed that you know that song. That was on my list because I'm like, he'll probably know Untouched or Forever, but will he know this one? So, hell yeah, Jake, you're passing the fucking vibe check already. Let's go.
Let's
All
go.
right. The next one is, and this has to be a yes. Please, Lord, this has to be a yes. Do you know who Willa Ford is?
No.
Okay.
Willa Ford?
Mm-hmm.
Willa?
Yes, and let me tell you, Jake, I came so prepared for this shit that I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play a little bit for him because I guarantee you, you'll probably know the song. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
This is so fucking funny.
I wanna be
Oh, yeah.
so good. I've got things on my mind.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay. That was in what movie?
Oh, now you're gonna
I
get me
wanna
with that
be
because I don't
bad.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in some movie that was like humongous. Why do I feel like it was like in Legally Blonde or something? I wanna be bad. Yeah, I for sure know that.
Hell yeah. I knew that was on my notes. I'm like, he may not know the name. I know he's going to know this song. So I love that.
Well, I'm glad. I'm actually glad there's one I didn't get. That was a good little like deep cut you got going on.
Well, I have one more for you. This is truly just purely for me. I'm going to make this about myself. Did you know that Jennifer Love Hewitt had music
I didn't. I'm sorry. I think I did. Was it professionally released or was it a demo?
professionally released?
Okay, so I knew that she did, and I don't think I liked it. I think I remember like listening to it back in the day on YouTube. Like YouTube was my gateway to literally everything. But are you about to play it for me?
Do you want me to?
Did you like I thought you were gonna like because Leighton Meester also has music and her music's pretty fire. I'm trying to think of like who else like Kat Graham. Kat Graham has music, her music's fire.
Fuck yeah, I
Um,
love
but
her.
Jennifer Love Hewitt, I don't know what it was with Jennifer Love Hewitt, but like I never got on that train. And it's no shade to her. I think it was like she was either huge like right in my brother's generation and like every show that she was like huge for I had just missed like the highlight for it. So
Well, we're definitely not going to play it because it is a different tempo, and I definitely don't want to bring the mood down.
okay,
However,
okay.
shout out to Jennifer Love Hewitt. I always felt like the pick me girl because I was like, well, I know Jennifer Love Hewitt's music, because no one knew her. So I wanted to be like, I wanted to be the black sheep so fucking bad.
You said I'm not like other girls. I know Jennifer Love Hewitt's. Also, did you see? I don't know if this is real or not, but did you see she was like at the audience for the Golden Bachelor?
No.
Let me just double check on that really quick. Yeah, she was in the audience and she was like in camera's view of the whole thing. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, why the fuck is Jennifer Love Hewitt there? I haven't seen this bitch in like years. She looks incredible, but like, why is she there? It was so random.
That's so random. However, I will go on record to say Homegirl needs a new hairstylist because that new haircut she got recently was just not it for me. But I love you, Jennifer Love. I love you.
I love you, Jennifer Love. Love that.
In a video, you sang Jessica Simpson, The Real Me is a Southern Girl. Okay. So this is going to be the ultimate test to see if you're even gay or not, okay? Because the
Okay.
way your answer to this next question will literally determine if Jake is actually gay or not. Are you ready?
I'm so ready
Have you
to
ever
prove that I'm not gay.
heard to prove that? Have you heard Jessica Simpson's song called Fired Up?
No. And I thought you were going to ask me about Public Affair.
I love that song so
Yeah,
much.
me too. I actually love Public Affair. No, when did she drop Fired Up?
Let me fucking tell you, Jake, I am so shook that you have not shaken your ass to this song because it is so fucking iconic and talk about truly underrated
Am I
music.
allowed to play it on my end? Will this
Hell
mess up your
yes.
recording?
No,
Okay.
not at
Let
all.
me just because when you played your song, I was like, I sadly can't even hear what he's playing. Okay, Fired Up. It's Jessica Simpson.
hmm
Yeah, okay, okay. Oh, this is on a Public Affair.
Yeah.
She's slow. Holy shit.
Stone cold sober, about to get knocked out. Are you ready for me?
Oh wow, I really missed that one.
You did. This is your
Like that
2024
would
gay
have rocked.
awakening.
I was like, that would have rocked my world. Back what, 2006, 2007? That would have rocked my shit.
Let me tell you, Jake, I was hoeing it up to that song back in the day. I was like, this has to be her next single. It never happened, but I was so curious if
Yeah.
you'd know about it. So there you
No,
go.
sadly. Oh my God. I feel like I'm letting you down.
No, are you kidding me? No, you have totally passed this like crazy. So you're definitely an A plus in my book. So we are totally good on that. Now that we know that you do like the song, we're back to being gay. It's totally cool. You're gay again.
Okay, cool. Lit, lit. It's a very fickle thing, my gayness. It's really fickle.
I love that. Since we're already on the topic of music, I want to tap into your creativity in the music world. And something that you posted a really long time ago, you had said if you had an indie album, this would be the cover. First of all, do you know
Oh
what
my
I'm talking
God.
about?
Yeah,
So you know the
I
photo?
do. Yeah, it's like me with a guitar in my hand. That's kind of all I remember. I think I remember there's a crazy ass filter on it. Like I think this was like early Instagram days. Like you went back.
I went
Yeah.
so back and Jake accidentally last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I accidentally liked your very first post on Instagram and I immediately unliked it. I'm like, oh God, he's gonna fucking be like, fuck
Which
this guy.
one? Which one? What is my first post?
That I don't remember because I unliked it so fucking fast, Jake, because I'm like, he's gonna think I'm a creeper.
No. Yeah, no, I would never think you're a creeper at all.
Well, I appreciate that.
This is not motivated by you, but I'm like, I probably should go archive certain things just because they're so not relevant to like what I'm currently doing online anymore. And there's possibly people in my photos that are like, I don't want to be seen, you know?
Well, I will say this on record. One of the most refreshing thing about going all the way back to your first post on Instagram, which is what inspired me to ask you if your classmates would be surprised that you're doing what you're doing, because I feel like in every single post, Jake, there is like a hint of you. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like there is no doubt that in every post you've made, you have always showed up authentically you. And I loved putting that
Mm.
connection together. So that was just an awe moment for me. So I didn't see anything you had to archive, but probably check it out.
Deal. I will. And thank you for that. That's so sweet. I've definitely always been a silly fucking goose. So maybe that's what you've been seeing.
So, in honor of that indie album that you manifested years ago, I'm going to show you some throwback photos of you, and I want you to tell me in this indie album, what would the song be about in relation to this picture?
To the
Are you,
photo? Okay.
yes. Are you
Okay.
ready?
I'm so ready.
By the way, these are so fucking cute. Like, I wish you could have had ugly photos for me to actually clown your ass on the pod. These are just so wholesome. I'm like,
Oh my God.
I was geeking out about this. So, are you ready for the first one?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the first photo is
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, if I can like be really, really on point, really on point, not even like creating a new song, but I have a song on my record called What We Want that is just genuinely an ode to my younger self and like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And that song is literally all about like the fruition of the dreams that young boy always had and then myself right now still have. So yeah.
I am actually covered in goosebumps right now because I want to read to you what I journaled. The caption to this photo was bad bitch at the age of 6. Okay. I love the connection in 2024 of his new EP and that song that talks about this journey. And it's so funny because even musically, Bad Bitch Energy in Citrus 2.0. And I thought the connection to that caption, being a bad bitch at the age of 6, to what you're doing in 2024 was like, holy fuck, manifestation at its
Mm.
finest. That's what I journaled about. So I love that you said that. I love that so much.
I'm just so honored that any thread of me made it into your journal. That's so sweet. I love that.
Are you ready for the next one?
I could not be more ready. This is so fun. God, God, I fucking love that photo so much. God, what would that song be? I'm very interested in getting into not an album, but like I definitely want to put my country twang on a song at some point because I can sing in a country register. But god damn, I don't know. What would the title or the song be about? I would say the song would definitely be about some level of a gay relationship, and putting it in a country sonic tone to me would feel kind of legendary. Not like I am Dixon. Do you know Dixon Dallas?
I do.
So I don't think I would do the whole like he's bouncing on my bit, but like I think maybe like he actually has like an emotional tune that's a gay song, and I actually still can't figure out if he's actually gay or what's going on. But he has one song that's like actually kind of beautiful, and it's a gay country banger. And I think the dichotomy of country music being a very conservative leaning genre historically, and then doing such a gay outward thing with it would be really cool. So yeah.
Well, I am going to pray that happens because I am so fucking into
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah, yeah.
the next picture I have for you.
That's me and my dad just being the cutest thing. Like that's also such a cute photo. I definitely think a photo like that feels like it motivates a song that's very like in the realm of Soak Up the Sun by Sheryl Crow,
Yes.
where there's kind of a dream state of bliss. But Soak Up the Sun's got a beauty to it because she's kind of talking about like the harsh realities of like mundane living where I don't have a penny in my account. I don't have a nice car. I actually have nothing to my name. And that's the most freeing thing about all of it. Like, because I have nothing in my name, I have nothing to actually lose. And so I'm actually free. I love that idea. And like being on the beach with my pops and that one, I would try to probably build a song in that realm of like what is true freedom.
And I love that we're able to do this, Jake, because again, I want specifically artists like you who you're so just multi-talented. I want people to also take you seriously when you say you're going to put out music. That was like my biggest goal with having you on was like, no, you guys,
Mm.
like he is not just another influencer or another actor or another character putting out music. I'm like, that's why I had goosebumps when you talked about what we want, because I'm like, I understood it. I got the vision, and I want fucking everyone else to see that vision too, because you're so much more than this one label. So I love
That
doing
is
this
so
with
sweet.
you. The next picture I have for you, I actually gave this a title, but I want to see what you would name the title first, okay?
Okay, okay. Oh, that's me and mom. Okay, I actually have a title, but I
Give
would
it to
love to hear
me.
yours first.
So I definitely did not go the sentimental route with this one. I
Okay,
went
good, because mine's not either.
I went Bad and Blondie for this one.
First of all, my mom is literally the coolest person. So I love that and I like that idea. And I think like my title could probably work in with yours. I would call that photo fraudulence. I would call like the song title Fraudulence. In that photo, I was graduating from college and on a path to do the polar opposite of what I'm doing now. So in that photo, while I'm with somebody I love so dearly, and I don't think my mom would ever think twice about me saying this, but I was so disconnected with who I was. So I feel like who I am in that photo is just not who I am today. And those phases of life can come where you feel really out of touch with who you are. And that's where I was. And I don't think it was anything bad per se. I actually think I needed that to get back to relishing what I love so much now, which is like there's never hesitation about what I'm doing now. I live so luckily in this space of like, I feel every day when I wake up, I'm doing something I enjoy. And Jake at that moment was about to step into a career of accounting. Like I was in accounting for 2 years and knowing deep down in my soul that's the last thing I wanted to do. Yep. Crazy
I love it.
fraud.
I love it so much because it once again it humanizes this artist in front of my eyes. And I love that you're able to remember those moments because again, that is what makes a true artist. So I love
Yeah.
that. The last one I have for you is just a picture that fucking cracked me up. It had no business being this fucking funny, okay? But for me, it was
Okay.
funny. For you, it's probably not going to be funny. But for me, I was fucking
Oh no, I probably
dying. You're
I
ready.
always like wanted to be such a dumbass. Go ahead. Yo, okay. Oh my God. Okay. Everybody in that photo would have loved what you just said. That photo, can I see it again? Do you mind if I see it again? Sorry. So, when we were taking that photo, we were in tears, laughing so hard because it was the stupidest thing we've ever done. I think in that moment we realized how conventional we all looked. Like we're just the most ambiguous white people you could ever imagine. And like, what's the whitest thing and whitest photo? Like everybody is so cool in that photo. I love everybody in that photo. And I think we were just trolls. We were trolls. And I think in that moment we were down to troll like some real sorority, fraternity lifestyle shit, some like White House suburban bullshit. And I'm going to tell you that was such a funny photo to post. I enjoyed it so much.
I love
That's a
that.
great memory I have with them.
Well, listen, here you go. If you ever need inspo for your next fucking album, all right, play this
Right
episode
there.
back. Here you go.
I'm gonna pull that photo.
These weren't related to what we're doing, so we're moving on to the next topic, but this one's just going to be a
Yeah.
very, very quick one. And then I promise you I have something we're going to do with your song titles, okay? But
Okay.
you made a post that said how to be more like Hillary Duff. So,
Okay, wait. Can I chime in really quick? I was an RA in college. Okay. Just like think about that. What were people doing? Like I got paid. That's crazy. Every month we had to flip a bulletin board in the hall. So like I had my own floor along with like one other we co-RA, blah blah blah. I had my own bulletin board of like this whole common area. And one month I was like, who's such a lit role model? Who's somebody who everybody fucks with, we all grew up with. They're not just like simply wholesome, like they're just cool and authentically themselves, and they just happen to be chill and amazing. Hillary Duff. So I went into it and I built that bulletin board. So feel free to say what you're going to say. I just wanted to give you a background.
no, I love that so much, Jake, because when I saw that photo, it was literally like Hillary Duff is my Roman Empire, okay?
Do you mind if I go pull something out of my kitchen just to show you in this
Yeah,
moment? Okay,
yeah,
I'll be right
please
back.
do.
Do you want to guess what I'm about to show you?
I have no idea. I thought you just wanted everyone to see your ass while you walked away.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Shut up.
It's a signed copy of Metamorphosis.
That is
Look at that
fucking
beautiful print.
incredible.
A graphic designer said, let's put some of that shit right there. Yeah, I Hillary Duff, that was my childhood like Roman Empire as well. Hillary Duff was like the one for me. And what was weird with Hillary, I fell in love at Dignity and then I moved backwards through her discography. And I always loved like Coming Clean. Coming Clean, I remember like very privately loving that song so much. And then I didn't really pay attention until Dignity, because she came out with Love, which was a fragrance, as well as her lead single, and the whole gay, like, just art that happened for me. Like, Dignity to me is one of the most underrated albums in history, like in pop history. That album just did it for me on so many levels. The rollout of the album, her kudos she needs so much more of for her music is just crazy to me. So I went backwards with Hillary Duff and fell in love like in a rewind level in 2007. So,
Literally, first of
oh
all,
my God, I just ripped it.
no, you did not.
I did. It's okay. I'm like not what's it called? I'm not great with like caring about tangible things. Like I'm not sentimental over tangible shit. Because I mean I still have the memory.
Oh, it's
Like
fine.
I just ripped it right there.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot I taped it together, but I meant to, yeah, sorry, I'm not like huge sentimental over like tangible things.
That is so
It's
iconic.
on my fridge. Like I keep it on my fridge. Like it's a magnet on my fridge. So it'll go right back up there
That's amazing.
once we're
Tape
done.
that shit up, put it back up in the fridge. It's still good.
I will. I will trust.
I
And I'm
love
never gonna
that.
sell it either. Like I think people like I'll rip it. I'm not trying to get money from it. So
I actually have a crazy conspiracy theory about Hillary Duff. My theory about Hillary Duff is how, because she is so underrated, even though she's a huge fucking icon today, I think she is truly the head of Illuminati. And the reason for that is with Love choreography that's so iconic that everyone posts everywhere. No one, and listen, this was one of like my first beginning episodes. Don't go and look for it because it's so fucking cringy. I was brand new with this, so don't look it up. However, one of my theories on one of my beginner episodes was no one has ever put that choreography to every fucking song on this planet. It fits to almost every fucking chorus in the entire world. And that is the reason why I think she is the head of Illuminati. So shout out to Hillary Duff.
I'm just gonna be so for real with you. I could see that being a thing so hardcore. And the scary thing, I'm not even like I know jack shit about the Illuminati and all the conspiracies, but if it came out one day that she was, I think I'd be even prouder of her. Like, look at you. Like, of course, that's you. The other thing I just want to like raise my hand and say is like that choreo that she performed, I watched live on GMA. I watched the MTV reality show displaying her learning the choreography in her hotel room with the golden Dolce and Gabbana Motorola Razor that she was having a phone call on. Like, it goes deep with me. Like, you can't fuck with me and how much I fucked with Hillary Duff. So when all that came around and people were playing with it, and then of course she made a video and she was like, "You guys thought that was funny? I was never a dancer." You know, it's like it's such a cute thing. I think she's got such a great golden light. And the other thing I want to say is I think she is the perfect, well, I don't want to say, you know what? I was going to say I think she has the perfect level of fame where it's like she has such a nostalgic place in people's minds. And I do think she can go out into the middle of nowhere, like with a ball cap on, and people would still be really chill with her. I think everybody knows what she looks like and knows her, but I think they'd be like, "Yo, that's Hillary Duff. Like, I fuck with you." And she's like, "Ink." You know what I mean? Or I don't know, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. But I love your conspiracy. I think you're really onto something with that.
Oh, well, I mean, now we have it on record. Once again, Hillary Duff is
Uh,
the
uh,
shit.
like that, yeah.
I think I'm just gonna watch you for the rest of the episode. Just watch you. Just stare. This has been just so fucking iconic, and now
I'm so
I am
glad.
so fucking ready to deep dive into your song titles with you. And
Let's
I
do it.
like to do things very differently because, again,
Okay.
the premise of the show is asking you things you haven't been asked about on record or doing things you
Okay.
haven't done on record yet. So,
Okay.
the first thing I need you to do is do you have, I don't know if you're recording on a phone, laptop, or do you have like a phone, pen, or paper or something?
I have my cell phone right here.
Perfect, because you are going to need to open up your notes for me. You're going to write citrus, then the next one's going to be what we want. Then the next one's going to be display Jake's version or just display,
Okay.
whichever one you want, you pick, okay? The what we're going to do with your song titles, okay? I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm going to paint the scene for you, and we're going to have a conversation, and I need us to have these song titles in this conversation. So I'm going to start us off. Mine are going to be lucid, display, and then I have a little surprise one for you at the end. Okay.
Okay. Okay, each time we say something, a song title has to be in it.
Yes. And not repeatedly, but for example, when you use the word citrus and your sentence, then it'll be my turn and I'll say lucid in the sentence. Then it'll be your turn. You'll say
Okay.
what we want. Are you ready?
You got it.
All
You got
right.
it. How
That
was
was
that? Was I
so
horrible with that?
No, are you fucking kidding me? That was so perfect. And let me tell you a little backstory on Limoncito, okay? Because this is how
Okay.
much I love this EP of yours, okay? I'm
Okay.
like, here's the thing. He has Citrus 2.0, but what if he did a Citrus Limoncito and did like a Spanish artist feature on it? What Spanish artist would that be, Jake? Who would you feature on Citrus Limoncito version?
God. Okay, Spanish, specifically singing in Spanish.
Just any Latin artist, doesn't have to be in Spanish,
Okay,
but
okay. I was gonna say like a dream would be Pablo Vittar, but I have a buddy named Manuel. His artist name is Manuk, and I adore him so much, and his voice is incredible. I have a buddy named Santi. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Santi. I think Pablo or Santi would really embody citrus in a way, not only confidence, but also kind of the overall party feeling to citrus super well. I'm pretty sure Santi is fully Spanish when he sings, and then Pablo, I believe, is Portuguese. So, but I gotta be so for real. It would be iconic if Pablo is on citrus because the beginning of it is Portuguese. Você
I
tem
love that.
tetões, Jake. Yeah.
Yes, I love
So maybe
that.
we should try to get Pablo on it.
You
But
know what?
Pablo's charting on Billboard right now. So Pablo's like blowing up like
Well, that is
I
exactly
don't
why we need his little limoncito touch on what we're doing. I love
Mhm.
that so much. In honor of this idea of citrus having a little bit of Hispanic Latin touch to it, can you do me a huge favor and in your best Latin accent, just give the
Okay.
camera limoncito?
Okay. Lemacito.
I love it.
How was that?
That was
Horrible.
so perfect.
I hope somebody takes that cut and just cancels me with it.
It was so, so, so perfect. Like, I love it.
Lemacito.
If you were to do display, because you already have display Jake's version, but if you were to do display unshut version, what would that song be about?
I would love it to reflect your very unique interviewing style where it matches the through line of display, which is being performative on behalf of a partner in a way that you wouldn't normally be. Writing it with the unshut version, which would actually have the dichotomy of conflicting interests. So far, my feature with Ocean Kelly, he wrote a verse that embodied that super well, but also carried that similar dichotomy of like, I'm fighting with this. And that's what the whole song is. Like, the whole song is fighting with this toxicity of it all. I think the unshut version would play into that even better and stand alone and kind of say, like, we're not like other girls. Like, we're not like this body is on display, but it's not for you. You know what I mean? Because your interview
Genius.
style is very unique and like I love that you're going back into you're like taking it back and you're asking questions nobody else does. I really love that.
That is so amazing. And it just again, because I'm geeking out over this EP that I love so much, if you could pick one of these songs to turn into a short film, which one of these tracks on this EP could tell the longest story to be made into a short film?
Display Jake's version, 1000%. Really, the inspiration behind that song altogether was the toxic, low self esteem mentality I was in after losing my relationship to infidelity, and how drastically I put a lens on myself and my physicality for the reason I was cheated on. before I got to a healthier place mentally, realizing that actually had nothing to do with it. But I also felt like there was a wild relatability to it being that kind of severe of a thought, but also the feeling some people have when they go on a first date or they post a photo of themselves online, where will I garner this level of attention that I actually do want, that is so human of us to feel, by possessing my physicality in a certain way. So I could see that being thrown into a really beautiful short film, genuinely.
I'm telling you, this is why you are so perfect for all of this, because I do think
Mm,
that, and I will say this, Jake, with every artist that we've talked about today in regards to being underrated, like Fifi Dobson and all these icons, right? Here today in 2024, I'm still name dropping them because they're fucking iconic.
yeah.
Sometimes the most iconic artists of our time are the most underrated. And this is why I think you're so perfect for this, because I think that
Mm,
so many people just thought he's an actor, he's so talented, he's a dancer, he does this. Oh, of course he has to put music out. It's just what everyone does. But I don't think people are truly realizing just yet, and I don't mean this in a bad way, that there is
mm,
more to that music. There's so much writing, so much
mm,
thought process that goes to it. And let me tell you something, Jake, it's always the ones that go and become underrated for a short amount of time that get picked up and get noticed for the longest time ever.
mm.
So
Yeah, longevity. I so appreciate your words. Like, you are making my day as far as validation goes. It's been a really cool, beautiful experience. And I knew going into making a musical project, I would have an interesting path in front of me, being known in such a comedic place and trying to not look like a influencer just trying to drop a single, which was why I wanted a body of work similar to a project. I wanted to have minor visuals that were really digestible for people. And then I played into this narrative of kind of saying, people are like, wait, this is real music. Like, you did put out a project. And I kind of loved that confusion, because I think when people get confused, they seek more clarity, and in that seeking process they would actually like invest into watching or like clicking or streaming or whatever it is. So I just really appreciate what you're saying, and I want you to know it is not stopping. I already have two other songs in the world. Like, this world is not stopping. I think as my comedy career and my acting and all that, it's got more growth. I want you to know, like, music is my soul. I don't care if barely anybody streams. The high that I get in creating something and keeping it to myself is larger than releasing it. If I love this so much, there's a chance somebody else will love it too. And that's the reason I released it. But kind of hearing you say people who are underrated end up having like this longevity that's beautiful. I don't want to just feel like I'm on this huge bandwagon for Charlie XCX, because she's proven herself over a decade for me. But when she was the most underground was when I loved her the most severely. And seeing this monumental cultural reset by her with Brat and everything that Brat is, it's just so inspirational that if I keep just doing this the way I want to and for myself, there might be a day that people really see this and give me recognition, and there might not be. Yet, on my deathbed, I wanted the ability to say, like, at least you fucking tried. And how cathartic was it for you to try? Because I was afraid there were nights I was going to bed in fear of, like, I could die one day and say I never gave it a chance. And I never wanted to reach that. So, oh, also, when you get a text message from your grandmother saying they listened to one of your songs and they cried, it's just like, that's all I could ever ask for or want as far as outside validation. And this process of making this project was so personal. I didn't ask for any opinion from any close friends, anyone. The only opinion I got was from my co-writer, Carlton, and his stage name is Tajan. He's immensely talented, and my producer, Josh Cobb. Like, it was just us three as a unit. So yeah.
well, and I think that is what makes it that very intimate interpretation, because I do think that what you did in that EP, it did embody this fun Jake, but it also stripped beyond that fun Jake. That was my favorite part about this project. And I'm geeking out about it too, because, and don't quote me on this, Jake, but if I'm not mistaken, last night when I accidentally liked your first post, there was a post you made just shortly after that first post that said, I wouldn't be who I am today without music. And I literally was like, holy fuck, can it be time to record already? Because this is just proof that he's not just doing this to do it. This goes way back before he even was getting his flowers for his acting. And I'm like, it was just a full circle for me. And I was just like so giddy about it. I'm like, absolutely, you deserve this and so much more. And it's all going to just continue to flourish because it's you. It's what you were meant to do. And when I see you, I see purpose. And I just
Mm,
can't put it into any other words other than it's going to continue to flourish. I already know it. Plus, I have good
thank you.
taste.
Thank you. I like see your good taste based on everybody you brought up. Fifi, like I'm about to name somebody that I feel like you do know. Do you know Natalia Kills,
Yes. Yes.
who's now Teddy Sinclair? She was like a very large inspiration for me when I was in high school. And yeah, I'm very validated by your experience with seeing my rollout and the project itself, and then where we connect on a very niche level. Like not a lot of people have the weird knowledge that you and I have on pop music. So hearing you say all these things coming from somebody like you, it really means the world. So thank you.
Of course. And this has truly just been such an honor, and I'm rooting for you in so many different ways. And also, congrats on this new tour you're going on, because
Thank
I
you.
am so excited to hear more about it later. The one thing I want to do to shout out these amazing cities that you're about to be going on this
Let's do it.
month, I'm going to name the cities in order, and I want you to tell me the
Okay.
first thing that comes to mind. And for those listening, this is for the Mean Gaze live tour that he is going on. It's going to be
And
fucking
just
iconic.
just a tidbit of information for everybody. We're calling it a comedy sketch variety show, okay? That I have written original music for.
Oh, fuck
So, and that's
yes.
not one of the two, and also like that's not one of the two new songs. So just know that.
Oh, hell yes. I just got excited. I'm like, hell yes, let's do it. I'm so excited for you. That is so awesome.
Thank you. And we are trying to do like we're building out a West Coast tour as well. It's going to be the same tour, but just know we're trying to come out to LA, Seattle, Oregon. Like we want to do everything. So, yeah.
You're going to do
We
everything.
are going to. We are going to do it all, baby.
Exactly. All right. First word or first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Which, by the way, this kicks off September 13th, everyone. The first one is Boston.
Dunkin' Donuts. I
I
feel
love
generic
that.
saying that, but you know me, I love a coffee.
Chicago.
Ah, architecture.
That's a good one.
I love Chicago. I think it's the most beautiful US city I've ever seen.
St. Louis.
I've heard the crime is pretty bad in St. Louis. I guess crime, like I don't know. I really don't know much about St. Louis, and that's on me. I've been to Boston, I've been to Chicago. St. Louis, I'm excited to go see more worlds to it, but people have said the crime's kind of hard. So I don't know.
And just so everyone is listening from St. Louis, there's only one way to cure crime, and that's to go to this fucking show, okay?
Yeah, what the fuck, St. Louis? You gotta come to the Mean Gays show. The crime rate will literally
Exactly.
be zero.
Fucking zero. You want to fucking cure everything that's going wrong in your city? Go to this fucking show.
I'm saying.
Philadelphia.
Philly history, statues. Like, I'm a history buff. Let's go fuck it up in Philly.
Thank you so much for not saying cheese, like Philadelphia cheese. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. Even though I love cheese. Yeah. I got you.
New York City.
Fashion Week. Our show is the same weekend as Fashion Week, and I'm just really trying to walk in a show. So fingers crossed for your boy. Okay.
Let's make it fucking happen.
Yeah.
Petition to make that
I want to
happen
make it
right
happen.
now. Atlanta.
Peach State, baby.
Nashville.
Vanderbilt. Belmont. Do you know about Belmont?
No, and it actually took me a minute to understand what you were saying. So I'm
Oh,
just a little extra.
yeah.
I'm
Don't
not
worry about it.
straight
I
enough
don't.
to know Vanderbilt, but I do. I remember now.
You're good. Vanderbilt College, and then there's Belmont. I wanted to go to Belmont when I was looking at schools. I couldn't afford it, but it was like a huge music business school.
And just for the record, I do know Vanderbilt. I went and got a bunch of merch when I was in Nashville. However, it just wasn't
Love.
registering in the moment.
No, don't worry. It's totally okay.
The last stop on this tour Pittsburgh.
I spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh. Prantle's almond tort cake.
What?
It's one of the best sweet treats I've had. They're like really famous for this almond tort cake, and it's at a bakery called Prantle's, and it's just like I also loved Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's a really cool city.
I've never been, but now I'm gonna go and fat bitch one of those cakes. I'm gonna go to
You could
Pittsburgh
do
and
it.
get it.
Do it, baby. Do it. It's a really sweet cake. So if you like sweet like me, I think you're gonna adore it.
Well, Jake, thank you so much for going along with everything we did today. The
Hell
topics, the
yeah.
music, all of it. I love saying this to my guests because it's just a really good reminder that giving someone your time is truly the most valuable thing we have.
Mm,
And I will forever cherish this moment. And I had so much fucking fun with you. So thank you so
I
much.
had a blast. Thank you for giving an amazing, fun interview. Like this was just so fun and entertaining the entire time. So I really appreciate it.
Well, take care of yourself, and
Awesome.
I cannot wait to see everything else that you're going to be doing in all of 2024. And we'll
Yes,
definitely
baby.
be in
And
touch.
I'll let you know when I come out west. I would love to meet you in person and I would love to get you a comp to this show whenever we have it, okay?
Absolutely. And we can listen to Fired Up by Jessica Simpson and shake this ass. All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. So nice to meet
Amazing.
you. Enjoy your day. Mwah.
You
Thank you for
too.
having me.
Of
Bye.
course. Bye.
Mo, something smells so delicious. I see you're prepping food. What are you making? I'm getting a hint of citrus.
Oh my gosh, yes, but you just distracted me. I just got some of that citrus shit in my eye. Reminds me of the time I had that lucid dream where you walked into the kitchen, but there weren't any lemons or anything citrusy in the kitchen, and I was so pissed off.
That's so crazy and weird. I feel like maybe your dream that seemed so lucid and wild was your subconscious just trying to figure out exactly what we want for dinner.
Actually, it's almost like you're putting my dream on display right now. It's so fucking spot on because actually, now that I remember the dream, I'm pretty sure that's what it was about.
I think what you don't realize is our closeness allows me to read you for who you really are, and that you never have to fake or put anything on display. And we might as well just like in an odd way make that metaphor and call it Display Jake's version.
You actually just gave me a very big idea. Now, instead of cooking, I'm just gonna go ahead and make us a little drink, and I'm going to add a little limoncito to give you just the extra little citrus you need, okay?
So weird. I knew I smelled citrus in here.
Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.